It's always exciting when the landscape here in New Jersey corresponds to the Torah portion. As you might know, this week in Parshat Korach, Korach has a rebellion against Moses and Aaron, against the leadership of the people as they're traveling through the desert, and a gigantic miraculous sinkhole opens up and swallows Korach and his followers into the earth. And also, if you've traveled along 287 going north, you may have noticed there's a gigantic sinkhole that's closed down the ramp that goes from 287 north onto 78 east. There's a huge sinkhole, and every time I go by the gigantic sinkhole, I think, so nice. Parshat Korach, it's right in line with the Parsha. Would that every week the Department of Transportation have some sort of feature on New Jersey's highways that links up with the weekly Torah portion. Thank you to the New Jersey Department of Transportation for trying to fix this sinkhole, and to God for swallowing the enemies of Moses. So why does that sinkhole, the biblical one, open up? It's because it's an unjustified rebellion against Moshe. You actually get to challenge authority and should challenge authority. You just have to do it respectfully and properly. Moshe himself will challenge authority, as famously does Avraham and the like. It's doing it for the wrong reasons, right? The Psalms say that Korach does it out of jealousy. The rabbis will go further, say he's just looking for a power grab for himself and looking to rile people up against the agreed-upon power structure that God gets to decide, and implying that Moses and Aaron stole their power for themselves. Look, this isn't a mystery. This stuff goes on in our society. We don't have to spell it out. How does Moshe deal with it? 4 Maccabees, which is a post-biblical but pre-rabbinic work. It's a reference by James Kugel, the scholar. So Moses deals with it with calm reason. When Moses was angry at Datan and Aviram, Korach's assistants, he did nothing against them in anger, but controlled his anger with reason, says 4 Maccabees. It's this. It's not always going to work. It doesn't mean that other people are going to be convinced. It means that that's how we respond. This actually goes on. It's not just Moshe who does this. I saw reflections of this in Naftali Bennett, the outgoing Israeli prime minister, when faced with a difficult political situation, kept his cool. Stood by his principles, not all of which I agree with, but did the right thing for the good of his people and his country, more than for his political future, which is grim. We read the Torah not just for old stories. We read it to help us reflect on present-day situations. Situations where people seek to acquire power for themselves illegitimately or out of jealousy, still obviously can happen. It is our obligation to see it when it happens and to deal with it calmly, with reason, not with an outburst of anger. Shabbat Shalom, and drive safely.